Right now, as you watch this, there is almost certainly one of them within 100 feet of you. On a ledge, a wire, a patch of sidewalk. You've walked past 10,000 of them and never once looked twice. The most ignored animal in your entire city. But inside that small grey body is a way of experiencing the world so alien that if you woke up inside it tomorrow, you would barely recognize reality. You would see time slow down. You might see the Earth's magnetic field glowing across your vision. You would hear storms forming hundreds of miles away, and you would never, ever fully fall asleep. So let me make you a promise. By the end of this, you may owe the pigeon an apology, because we're not going to talk about this bird. We're going to climb inside one, and the last thing I show you will change what it means to you for good. So imagine it. You wake up tomorrow and you are a pigeon. What is it actually like? The very first thing that hits you is that time has slowed down. Your eyes now refresh the world about 143 times every second. A human's manage around 60. Where a person sees one smooth, flowing motion, you see the gaps between the frames, the world rendered in crisp, individual stills. A hand swatting toward you now crawls through the air like it's moving through honey. This, by the way, is why no one can ever quite catch a pigeon. To you, our fastest, sneakiest movements look slow and clumsy and far too late. And that is only the beginning. Open your eyes, really open them, because nothing about the way you see is human anymore. The colors are wrong, or rather, there are more of them. You now see ultraviolet, an entire band of light humans are completely blind to. Feathers that looked like dull grey to your old eyes now blaze with hidden patterns. And your eyes sit on the sides of your head now, each one working independently. You can track a cat to your left and a crumb to your right at the very same instant. Two separate worlds, two streams of vision at once, wrapping almost the whole way around you. Nearly 340 degrees. The only place you cannot see is a tiny blind spot directly behind your head. But here is where it stops feeling like Earth at all. Scientists now believe pigeons may quite literally see the planet's magnetic field. In the back of your eye is a protein called cryptochrome that reacts to magnetism whenever light hits it. And the leading theory is that it lays a faint pattern over your vision. A gradient, a glow, a shadow that shifts as you turn your head, always pointing the way. You wouldn't check a compass, you would simply see north. And just in case, there are tiny grains of magnetic iron wired into the nerves of your beak, the same mineral our first compasses were made from, giving you a second magnetic sense underneath the first. Now go quiet and listen, because your hearing has changed too. Pigeons can detect sound far below anything a human can hear, frequencies as low as 5/100ths of a single hertz. A slow planetary rumble. You can hear the deep groan of the ocean from far inland. You can hear a storm gathering hundreds of miles away, hours before it arrives. The entire Earth hums to you, and that hum is a map. And there's a haunting piece of proof for this. For years, homing pigeons released near a place called Jersey Hill in New York got hopelessly lost. Every single time, with one impossible exception, a single day, August 13th, 1969, when all of them came home. Decades later, scientists figured out why. The landscape there bends that planetary hum up and over the hill, leaving the birds just at that one spot on the entire planet, suddenly deaf to the sound of home. And as if that weren't enough, you smell your way home too. To you, the wind carries a scent map. Living at your loft, you slowly memorize which odors ride in on which winds. Building, over months, an invisible map of smells that reaches as far as 100 kilometers in every direction. Dropped somewhere you've never been, you taste the air, match it against your map, and turn toward home. A magnetic compass, a map of sound, a map of smell, all running at once in a brain the size of a grape. Now feel your own body, because it runs hot and fast. At rest, your heart beats about 155 times a minute. In flight, it can hit 600. Your body temperature sits near 42 degrees Celsius. You are, quite literally, a hotter-blooded creature than any human. And you breathe in a way no mammal can. Air flows through your lungs in one continuous direction, fresh oxygen passing over the exchange surfaces whether you breathe in or out. It makes you about a quarter more efficient at pulling oxygen from thin air than we are. which is how a bird can fly at altitudes that would knock a human unconscious and cruise at 60 miles an hour for hours without stopping. Even that ridiculous head bob you finally understand from the inside. It isn't a strut, it isn't balance, it's a camera stabilizer. You throw your head forward, then hold it perfectly still in space while your body catches up underneath, freezing the image so the world won't blur. And when night falls, you discover the strangest thing of all. You never fully sleep. A pigeon can switch off just one half of its brain at a time, leaving the opposite eye open and watching. Roost on the edge of the flock, and you'll keep the outward eye, and the half of your brain behind it, awake all night, standing guard, while the inner half rests. Half of you sleeps. Half of you always watches. Now, the mind running all of this. You'd assume it must be simple. It is anything but. The brain inside that little skull can be taught to read, to tell real written words from gibberish, and even recognize brand new words it has never seen. It can put numbers in order as accurately as a monkey. Shown medical scans, pigeons have spotted cancer in human breast tissue with 99% accuracy as a group, matching trained specialists. And you remember faces. You know individually the person who scatters seed for you and the person who once chased you off. You have been quietly studying us this entire time we ignored you. And you are not alone in there. Pigeons pair off and largely mate for life. You and your partner raise your young together. And here's something almost no one knows. Both of you feed them milk. Deep in your throat, a special lining produces a rich, curd-like crop milk, richer than a cow's, triggered by the very same hormone behind a mammal's nursing. Even the father makes it. Somewhere near you right now, a male bird is nursing its child. So that is what it's like to be a pigeon. To see in slow motion, in colors that have no name. To carry two magnetic senses, a map of smells, an ear tuned to the breath of the planet. To run hot and fast, to sleep with half a brain, to think with a mind that reads and counts and never forgets your face. And to love one partner for life and feed your children milk you make in your own throat. And we have spent that entire time looking down on it. Remember what this bird has done for us. In 1918, one of them, a little hen named Cher Ami, flew 25 miles through a wall of gunfire. Shot through the chest, blinded in one eye, one leg hanging by a tendon. And she did not stop, because tied to that ruined leg was the message that saved 200 trapped, dying soldiers. Pigeons have been awarded more medals for battlefield bravery than any other animal on Earth. And when Charles Darwin needed to prove how life itself is shaped across generations, he didn't begin with his famous finches. He opened on the origin of species with pigeons. So how did this become the creature we curse on the sidewalk? We even gave our disgust a name, rats with wings. But almost no one who says it knows the phrase was invented by a New York City Parks commissioner in the 1960s. For most of human history, we didn't despise pigeons at all. We revered them. Their droppings were treasured as one of the finest fertilizers on Earth. People built ornate towers just to honor and house them. It was only when factories learned to pull fertilizer out of thin air that the pigeon lost its worth in our eyes, and a bird we had cherished for thousands of years became almost overnight vermin. Nikola Tesla never lost sight of it. One of the greatest minds who ever lived spent his final years feeding pigeons in the parks of New York. And he fell in love, genuinely and helplessly, with a single white one. He said he loved that bird as a man loves a woman, that she gave his life purpose. And when she came to his window one last time and died in his hands, he said a light left her eyes brighter than any he had ever produced in his laboratory. And that with her gone, his life's work was finished. The man who imagined the modern world looked at a pigeon and saw something worth loving. The rest of us just looked away. And here is the last thing, the thing this whole journey has been building toward. That white dove of peace, released at weddings, set free over the Olympics, drawn by Picasso, our universal symbol of hope and love and peace itself, is this exact bird. Dove and pigeon are not two animals. They are the same species. The dove of peace is a pigeon. We just painted it white and forgot. Sit with that. The same creature we sneer at on the pavement is the one we set loose into the sky when we want to say peace, when we want to say hope, when we want to say love. We have been holding the truth in our own two hands this entire time, and staring straight past it, because the wonder was never hidden. It was never rare. It has been sitting on a wire above your head, on the ledge outside your window, on the sidewalk you hurried across, this whole time. An animal that sees magnetism, that hears the ocean from 100 miles inland, that reads and remembers your face and loves one mate for life. It never asked us for anything but to be seen. And for most of our lives, we couldn't even manage that. So the next time one lands beside you and turns its head to fix you in a single strange, all-seeing eye, don't look away. Look back. Because something quietly extraordinary is looking at you. It always was. Maybe the pigeon was never beneath us. Maybe we were just never paying attention. If this changed the way you see the bird outside your window, subscribe. And next time, we'll climb inside the mind of another animal you've completely underestimated.